Hi, purpose-driven pastors. I am so excited that Easter is coming, and I wanted to share with you some of the things that I'm doing and hoping that you could possibly implement them as well, because I know you want to monopolize on Easter and you want to make sure that this opportunity does not go waste, and as many people who can hear about the love of Jesus and the power that Jesus can give to our lives be made available to them. So I want to just go over a few things with you and ask you, how are you planning strategically? How are you thinking through using this opportunity when most people are willing to engage with a conversation about Jesus? The whole world will be thinking about the death and resurrection of Christ in terms of that particular festival. If nothing, they'll be criticizing it or they'll be asking questions. How do we engage that? How do we lovingly respond both to criticism or to people seeking those ways? So you got a lot of people all around your church, in your local areas that are asking those questions. So my question to you is, do you know what questions they are asking? And number two, are you going to answer those questions in your Easter service? Is your Easter service just going to be for your people? Are you planning to just bring in only, the crowd who comes, the congregation that gathers in your church, and just kind of celebrate that? Or are you going to open it up to allow as many people to come and get their questions answered? Because this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. So the main thing we want to be thinking about is in Easter, in terms of an event, is drawing a crowd. How do we draw people to the service? What I'm trying to do is, and I've got on Facebook, I'm using an event management social media thing. I'm getting the word out through WhatsApp. What I want to do is get as many people to register or to come to our service. And we are planning for 60% of the hall that we have booked to be filled with people who don't know Jesus, who are unchurched. That's the kind of percentage, because I know that if I aim for 60%, I'm probably going to get 10 or 20% of that. So knowing that, I'm trying to have as many seats as possible. We're also sending out invites, and the invite has the words or the name that we're trying to kind of talk about. We also are planning towards answering the questions in the sermon that everyone is asking, that people are asking, people who don't know Jesus, people who have heard wrong things about Christians or church or conversion and things like that. How can we answer not all the questions in one time, but approach those topics so that you present Christ with the hope and the love and the power that we see him in his resurrected form. So how are you planning to present the message on Easter morning? Are you preparing it in such a way that unbelievers can come and have their questions answered? Because that's how you draw a crowd. You draw a crowd by getting people to get their questions answered. You can also draw a crowd by meeting needs like healing and things like that. But primarily people want to know, why should I listen to you? All right? So that's draw a crowd. Another opportunity to use Easter is to employ your people in your church and delegate them into ministry. Use them, give them responsibilities on Easter Day, before, after, to really work with the relationships and the people. In terms of delegation, you have follow-up, you have assimilation, you have contacting, you have publicity. Get your people involved. Don't make it just a central team that does. Get the whole congregation to own Easter as the way, as the event, as an opportunity for your church to reach its community. Your whole community should know, your neighboring community should know that you are actually engaging with them on this Easter. So delegate and give ministry away to your people. Two more things I want you to think about is, how are you going to plan follow-up? If 20 people come to your church on Easter morning, how do you plan to follow them up? Who is going to do that? Pastor, don't do it yourself. You don't be the one to do it, okay? You get people in the congregation to do it, all right? Now, once they get involved, teach them what it means to follow up. What it means to, what do they need to talk about? What do they need to say to the people when they call them, visit them, contact them? The next one is, out of the 20 people or whoever, because some will want to join the church. How do you assimilate them? Where do they join first? Do they start coming on Sunday morning, or do you want to get them into a small group? Should you start them off with 40 days of purpose? Do you want them to begin something to do with finding out more about Jesus? Because on Easter morning you can say, anybody who wants to know more about Christ or know more about this, come at this particular time, or come and so will help you answer your questions, help you figure out some of these things. So how are you planning that? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm questioning us whether we are planning each of these things. So my encouragement to you is, have a plan to draw the crowd by meeting their needs, their mental needs, and their inquisition needs, answering their questions. Number 2, delegate your people to do the ministry while you focus on drawing the crowd. Number 3, have a follow-up plan for the people who actually show up, because when they come, you want to care for them for the next 6 months. You want to be in their lives. You want to pray for them. Number 4, you want to get them into the church. So what are the first steps of your church? What are the first steps of getting them involved? If you want to know more about that, refer to the purpose-driven strategy and the videos that I've shared with you, and I'll be talking to you more in the near future of how to actually unpack some of these. I'll be back with you in just a few days.